What's up, kinfolk? So Auburn walked into Tuscaloosa today and got their ass kicked for 4 quarters. Now, a lot of people don't see it that way. I absolutely see it that way because in the two most important parts of the game, offensive line and defensive line, hold up, we got our asses handed to us. Most importantly, the offensive line got absolutely dominated in a lot of different ways. Absolutely just got their shit kicked in. It was so upsetting to watch because I know what a lot of Auburn fans are going to be saying about, run game, stick with the run. And I know Jarquez's yards per carry did not look that bad. There were so many cases where it'd be early down, we'd go inside zone count or whatever, and Alabama would just shut it down. They had the best gap discipline I've seen from them all year in the run game. Absolutely stonewalled us a lot of times. Now, he popped a few. He absolutely popped a few, and that improved his yards per carry, and he had a few 2 to 3 yard carries. And a lot of people will say to stick with it. I feel like Hugh Freeze saw them stopping the run in too high because they were playing so aggressively in the front seven that he felt like he had to throw them out of it and had to figure out a way to move the football effectively. We tried the screen game. Malcolm Simmons, a freshman, so I'm not going to be on him too much, dropped 2 orbit screens that could have popped for 15, 20 yards, honestly. And this was a failure on all fronts, I believe. Defense played decently for about 2.5 quarters of that game. Offense played decent. At times, I say slightly below average, honestly, for a lot of that game. And honestly, I want to criticize the game plan, but I don't even know what the game plan was because I feel like we abandoned it so early. So Peyton played his last game as an Auburn Tiger, and I got to say I was proud of him for a lot of that game. He played average, but he wasn't the reason we lost the game. Trust and believe that. A lot of fans will try and tell you Peyton Thorne lost us that football game. Peyton Thorne didn't lose us that football game. Coaching staff, offensive line, much worse than Peyton Thorne was in that game. Did he play great? Absolutely not. Did he have a Cam Newton moment? No, he's not Cam Newton. But there is no way that anyone can convince me that he solely cost us that football game. He honestly kept us in it as the game went on. Receivers played okay. A major issue for me was blocking on the outside. I mean, Jesus, their corners were just bullying our receivers in a lot of situations when we were trying to run the football or we were trying to get into the screen game. Corners were getting bitched out there on screens. Could not get off a block. We had Keontae Scott out there. We had Kinsley Falston out there, guys that are supposed to be safeties and nickels who were supposed to be able to defeat those blocks, and they weren't able to. So they were able to pop screens, which then opened up their run game, and our defensive front was very inconsistent. They made a lot of plays. There were also a lot of plays where we could not get hands on these guys, and when we did, Jalen Milroe would escape the pocket and go and make a play on his own. So, trying to hit everything in here, everything, because I don't want to have to come back. DBs in coverage were okay. There were a couple of busts, but Alabama had some shit that would have been difficult to defend regardless. That's kind of it. This was a failure on all fronts, but I'd say Auburn fans, shake it off, deal with it. And I got to be at work tomorrow, which is going to be a nightmare. And just moving forward, just look forward to December 4th, I think, is National Early Signing Day. And then look forward to the portal where hopefully we'll be getting a quarterback. Don't know who that's going to be yet. So moving forward, Auburn fans, keep your head up. There's a lot of young talent on this team. And was this a kick in the nuts? Absolutely. But we're moving forward. We have a great class set in place. We have a couple other flip candidates. Naeem Alford, Darion Smith, Justice Terry. And, just moving forward, keep pushing. Don't give up on this coaching staff because I honestly think that there is a lot of potential here. War Eagle.